All right, Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
So we're gonna start off with the reading of the law. We're gonna be in Exodus chapter 20. And Brother Ron.
Exodus chapter 20, starting off with verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other powers before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, or any likeness of anything which is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquities of the father upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them which love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High thy power in vain, for the Most High will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them is, and rested on the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Amen. Thank you, brother. The title of today's lesson is Christ, our high priest. Christ, our high priest. As believers, we must listen to our high priest and filter our lives through his word. I'm going to read Exodus chapter 20, verse 10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord, thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. Thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. He blessed the seventh day and hallowed it. So now, when I say we got to listen to the high priest, which is Christ, we have to listen to the high priest. First scripture for today is Hebrews chapter 4, verse 14 through 15.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verses 14 through 15. Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Yeshua, the Son of the Most High, let us hold fast our profession. For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin.
Okay, so verse 14 says, seeing that then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Yeshua, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast to our profession. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted, like as we are, yet without sin. So he's our example, without sin. But let's listen to the high priest. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 17 through 19.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 17 through 19. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
So what did the high priest just say? He said, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. That's what the high priest is saying. If we're going to walk in this walk, we're going to call ourselves Christians, Israelites, whatever you want to call yourself. We have to do what the high priest says to do. And then he says, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass. There's still a heaven above, and we're still walking on earth. One jot, one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. All hasn't been fulfilled yet. Then he goes and says, whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments and shall teach men so. And teach men so. We've been conditioned that the commandments doesn't matter. We've been conditioned that the Sabbath day doesn't matter. I worship God 7 days a week. But are you doing what is commanded? Are you doing what the high priest told you to do? Let's go to Leviticus 19 and 34.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 34. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born amongst you, and thou shalt love him as thyself. For ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Most High, your power.
Okay, so Leviticus 19:34 says, but the stranger that dwelleth with you. I want you to hold on to that. Keep that in your mind. Think about that stranger. Okay? Now we're going to go to Exodus chapter 12, verse 48. And verse 49.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12, verses 48 through 49. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you.
In verse 49, it says, one law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourn among you. There's one law. The Gentiles don't have a different law than the Israelites. It's the same law. It's one law. Let's go to Galatians chapter 3, verse 28.
The book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 28. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Christ Yeshua.
We're all one under Christ. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one under Christ. So that stranger that when he sojourns with the Israelites, he has to do what the Israelites do. We're going to go into the Strongs. This is a Strong's Concordance. It's the translation from Hebrew, or from English to the Hebrew, and from the English to the Greek. You got to understand what these words are. So a good study tool is the eSword. You can get it on Apple or the Play Store. It has the Strongs, so you can look up these words. Okay? So the first word we're going to go into the Strongs and look at is sojourneth. It's H1481. H1481. That's the Hebrew. Gourd. A primitive root, properly to turn aside from the road for a lodging or any other purpose. That is sojourn, as a guest. Also to shrink, fear, as in strange, or as in a strange place. Also to gather for hostility, as afraid. Abide, assemble, be afraid, dwell, fear, gather together, inhabit, remain, sojourn, stand in awe, stranger. So in sojourn, that's the assembly. That's you gathering together. That's a gathering. Let's go to Acts 7:38.
The book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 38. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai, and with our fathers, who received the lively oracles to give unto us.
This is he that was in the church. That word church. Now we have to go to the Greek and figure out what is that word church? In the Greek, it comes from G1577, ekklesia. Ekklesia. From a compound of G1537 and a derivative of G2564, a calling out. That is consecrately, a popular meeting, especially a religious congregation, Jewish synagogue, or Christian community of members on earth, or saints in heaven, or both. It's an assembly. The church is the assembly. So now let's go to Leviticus 23:3.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwelling.
In all your dwellings, it's the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. So 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest. We're going to get into that rest a little bit later. But it's the Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation. A holy convocation. We're going to get back to that holy convocation here in a minute. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12, verse 8.
The book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 8. For the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath day.
For the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath day. Now let's look into that word Lord. It's Greek, 2962. Kurios. From kuros, supremacy, supreme in authority. When Christ says he's Lord of the Sabbath day, I'm the high priest of the Sabbath day. I'm the supreme authority of the Sabbath day. That is controller, by implication, Mr., as a respectful title, God, Lord, Master, Sir. Christ is the authority of the Sabbath day. He's the high priest. So if he's the authority of the Sabbath day, I mean, That means the Sabbath is not done away with. Couldn't change it. Man does not have the authority to change it. But now, back in Leviticus 23:3, it says, 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Let's look into this word holy. Holy in the Strong's, in the Hebrew, is H6944, Kodesh. It comes from H6942, a sacred place or thing, rarely abstractly sanctity, consecrated thing, dedicated, hallowed, holiness, holy, portion, saint, sanctuary. The Sabbath is like sanctuary. It's a holy thing. It's your sanctuary. Let's look at convocation. It's a holy convocation. It's H4744 Mikra from H7121. Something called out. That is a public meeting. The act, the person, or the place. Also a rehearsal, assembly, aka church, calling, convocation, a reading. How do you hear the law? By reading of the word. So you come on the Sabbath, we read the law earlier. That's how you hear the law. So now we got to listen to the high priest. We do that every Sabbath. We come in here and we read the law. Right now, we just starting with the 10. Later, we're going to go in depth of reading of the law. Let's go to Colossians 1, verse 18.
The book of Colossians, chapter 1, verse 18. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence.
He is the head of the body. Christ is the head of the assembly. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3.
First Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is the Most High.
There's your order. But I will have you to know that the head of every man is Christ. And the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Christ is God. Christ has a head. Christ falls under somebody. Let's go to John 3 and 34 through verse 36.
The book of St. John, chapter 3, verses 34 through 36. For he whom the Most High hath sent speaketh the words of the Most High. For the Most High giveth not the Spirit by measure unto him. The Father loveth the Son, and hath given all things into his hand. He that believeth on the Son hath everlasting life, and he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of the Most High abideth on him.
Okay, so we're seeing how the Most High gives it over to his Son. It says the Father loveth the Son and has given all things into his hand. But verse 34, it says, for he whom God has sent speaketh the words of God. Christ was sent by God, so he speaks the words of God. So if he's speaking those words, where is he getting those words from?
Yeah.
From the Most High.
So Christ is like an ambassador.
He's the, exactly. Then in verse 36, it says, he that believeth on the Son has everlasting life. And he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abideth on him. See, you got to listen. You have to listen to what Christ says. You have to walk how Christ is telling you to walk. Let's go to John 14 and 15.
The book of John, chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
If you love me, keep my commandments. This is Christ. This is the high priest speaking. Who gave Christ the commandments? His Father. He said, I put all things in his hand. God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of the church / assembly. Not Pastor Sean or any other pastor, bishop, elder, reverend. We have to be led by Christ and his word. If somebody else is out there telling you that the Sabbath is done away with, you need to pack your bags. It hasn't changed. As we read earlier, the Most High hallowed it. He sanctified it. It's a calling. It's an assembly. It's church. Let's go to John 14 and 9.
Right, jumping back up to John 14 and 9. Yeshua said unto him, have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath sent me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, show us the Father? Verse 10. Believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works.
So here you got Philip questioning. He said, you You can't see the Father in me. Christ said the works that I do is not my own, but it's the Father who sent me. He says, believest thou not that I am in the Father and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me. He does the work. He does the work. So now, what did the high priest say? Think not that I come to destroy the law. So we're going to listen to the high priest, or we're going to listen to man? Because man tells you that, man, you can go to church on Sunday. I worship God 7 days a week. But he commanded you to assemble on the seventh day. It's a holy convocation. Well, I'm a Gentile, so that law doesn't apply to me. Let's see. The high priest was tempted and used the words of the Most High to defeat Satan. Let's go to Matthew 4, verse 3 and verse 4.
The book of Matthew, chapter 4, verses 3 through 4. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of the Most High, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High.
So did the Sabbath day proceed out of his mouth?
Yes, it did.
But you see how you see how the tempter came? You see how the tempter came and said, man, the law's done away with, man. You don't have to go to the church on the Sabbath day. You don't have to assemble on that day.
So I can assemble every day.
Every day. That's how the tempter comes to you. Let's go to Deuteronomy 8 and 3 and see where Christ got these words from.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 3. And he humbled thee that suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knowest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High doth man live.
So now you see where Christ got the words from. The law. As we see, the high priest used the law, and he said we should live by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord. Doeth man live? You want to live? Live by the law. Let's go to Matthew 4 and 6. And we'll read through verse 7.
The book of Matthew, chapter 4, verses 6 through 7. And said unto him, If thou be the Son of the Most High, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angel charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Yeshua said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Most High thy power.
It is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Most High, thy power. See, Satan knows the scriptures too. Satan knows the scriptures better than we do. So when somebody tells you to go against the law, that is Satan. That is Satan speaking through them. What's another one they like to use? About the meat. Oh, God made everything clean. Yeah, everything's good. It's good. Yeah, that's another one. Oh, we don't have to do that. God made everything clean. You just turned God into a liar. Change not. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6 and 16.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 16. Ye shall not tempt the Most High your power, as ye tempted him in Massah.
Ye shall not tempt the Lord your God. Same thing Christ just said. Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Same law. How do you fight the devil? Through the law. Let's go to Matthew 4:9. And we'll read through verse 10.
And y'all hold that Deuteronomy. The book of Matthew, chapter 4, verses 9 through 10. And said unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Yeshua unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Most High thy power, and him only shalt thou serve.
Okay, here we go. Same thing. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 13 and 14.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verses 13 through 14. Thou shalt fear the Most High thy power, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name. Ye shall not go after other gods, of the gods of the people which are round about you.
Okay. Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God and serve him, and shalt swear by his name. Ye shall not go after other gods, of the gods of the people which are round about you. That's even in today's time. Now that oh, I'm spiritual. I'm a Buddhist. I'm a Muslim.
I follow the ancestors.
I follow the ancestors.
Universe.
Yeah, the universe. Who created the universe? Let's go to Joshua 24, verse 14 and 15.
Verses 14 and 15. The book of Joshua, chapter 24, verses 14 through 15. Now therefore, fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
And if it's Joshua 24 and 15, and if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord. If it seems evil. Joshua said, and if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day who ye will serve. Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood before Noah, during Noah's time, the fallen angels, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. For me and my assembly. We call God's church the house of prayer, the house of worship. Let's go to Romans chapter 7, verse 7. Romans, book of Romans.
Book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 7. The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin, but by the law. For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet.
Okay, so now you see what Paul said. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? Now, Joshua 24 and 24 and 15. And if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord, ties right back into Romans chapter 7. Is the law sin? We think as the law as being evil. Wow, why do you want to put us up underneath that? That's the old covenant. Paul said, is the law sin? God forbid. No. Nay, I had not known sin. The law teaches you what sin is. But by the law, for I had not known lust, except the law said, thou shalt not covet. But we walking around here, don't put me under that old covenant. That's the old covenant. When you tell people that they got to follow the law, it sounds evil to them. But we got to make a choice. Let's go to Colossians chapter 2, verse 18.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 18. Let no man beguile you of your reward in a voluntary humility and worshiping of angels, introducing into those things which intruding into those things which he had not seen, vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind.
Let no man trick you of your rewards in a voluntary humility and worshiping of angels. Remember about serving the other guys before the flood? See, all this stuff we think is new. It's not, there's nothing new. There's nothing new underneath the sun. It's the same gods. They just put a different spin on it. They'll put a different name on it. Let's go to Romans chapter 1, verse 25.
The book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 25. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie and worshiped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
Who changed the truth? Who told you that the Sabbath day was done away with? Who told you that day, oh, it's a new Sabbath, it's Sunday? Satan. Satan and his minions. Christmas. Is that a law in the Old Testament? Halloween. Is that a law in the Old Testament? Easter. Is that a law in the Old Testament? Man-made. Involuntary worshiping of angels. As soon as you stop doing those things, people say, what about the kids? They just having fun. That's involuntary worshiping of an angel. It's just family time. We're just doing it for the family. They believe a lie. Do your research on these holidays, and you will see they do not come from the Most High. He gave us holy days to follow. Look up Pat Robertson from the 700 Club on YouTube and see what he says about Christmas. This man on the 700 Club said, we know that Christmas stems from Saturnalia, but we put Christ on it and it cleaned it up. Look it up, 700 Club. When he said that, he says that out of his mouth. Let's go to Matthew 10 and 37.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. This is coming from the high priest. You want to celebrate these man-made holidays, these idols, these fallen angels because of family time? Christ said, you're not worthy of it. Let's go to 2 Timothy 3 and 4.
Chapter 3, verse 4. Second Timothy, chapter 3, verse 4. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High.
Lovers of pleasure. It says traitors. Calling you a traitor. Heady, high-minded, lover of pleasures more than lovers of God. We rather do what feels good than do what the Most High said. You got to make a choice. But now, the law wasn't given to us. I'm a Gentile. That's what they say. The law, that's for the Israelites. That's for Israel. That's for the Jews. Let's go to Romans 3 and 29.
The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 29. Is he the power of the Jews only? He is not also of the Gentiles? Yes, the Gentiles also.
Is he the God of the Jews only? He is not also of the Gentiles. Yes, of the Gentiles also. Let's go to Isaiah 54 and 5.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 5. For thy maker is thine husband. The Lord of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The power of the whole earth shall be called.
The God of the whole earth shall he be called. He's the God of the whole earth. So that means the whole earth falls underneath this. Christians, Gentiles, you say you're grafted into this covenant. We're grafted in. And you will say, well, we're under the new covenant. We're not under the old covenant, we're under the new covenant. What is the new covenant? Let's go to Jeremiah 31 and 31, and we'll read through verse 33.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verses 31 through 33. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people.
But this shall be the covenant, the new covenant, that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward part and write it in their heart, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. But we're under the new covenant. What is the new covenant? What did it just say? I will put my law in their inward parts, in your mind. Let's go to Mark 14 and 24.
The book of Mark, chapter 14, verse 24. And he said unto them, This is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many.
This is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for many. Christ spoke these words at Passover. And there's a reason why he spoke these words at Passover. He's letting you know, my blood is shed for many, not just for the Jews, but for the Gentiles also. That's the new covenant. See, before, the Gentiles didn't have a sacrifice. Now they have a sacrifice under Christ, the shedding of his blood. But there's stipulations. Let's go to Exodus 12 and 48.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 48. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it, and he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof.
And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee. You're grafted into this covenant. You're a stranger. Now you're sojourned into Christ. So if you're sojourned into Christ, why not keep the Sabbath? You have to do what Israel does. You're sojourned to Christ. He says a holy convocation is an assembly on the Sabbath day. Let's go to Ezekiel 44 and 9. And before you go there, it says in Exodus 12 and 48, it says, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. Just hold that in your mind about that uncircumcised person. Let's go to Ezekiel 44 and 9.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 44, verse 9. Thus said the Most High Power, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among the children of Israel.
So if you're among the children of Israel, you can't have an uncircumcised heart. Let's go to Romans 2 and 12 and read through verse 15.
The book of Romans, chapter 2, verses 12 through 15. For as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law. And as many have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. For not the hearers of the law are just before the Most High, but the doers of the law shall be justified. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these, having not the law, are a law unto themselves, which shew the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness in their thoughts, the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another.
Okay. So the work of the law written in their heart. I will make a new covenant and I will write the law in their heart. But to the Gentiles, you just can't stop with just a few of the laws. Well, I don't steal, I don't commit adultery. You got to do the laws and live. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 4, 1 through 12. Well, hey, let me expound on that a little bit more. So in verse 14 of Romans chapter 2, verse 14, for when the Gentiles which have not the law do the, Shalaki. I'm sorry. Let's go to verse 12 in Romans chapter 2, verse 12. For as many have sinned without the law shall also perish without the law, and as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. Didn't matter if you had the law or not, you're still going to be under the same judgment. He's going to count your ignorance, stuff that you didn't know about the law. But the things that you knew or know, the things that you know, that's what he's going to judge you off of that. You know, in times past, I winked at your ignorance. But it's our job to study to show ourselves approved. So if we don't study, we're not going to know the law. But you think, oh, that's an excuse. No, I gave you time to study. Mm-hmm. Yes. And then verse 14, it says, for not the hearers of the law are just before God. Not the hearers, but the doers of the law shall be justified. You got to do the law. Just can't sit back. Oh, I believe it sounds good. You know. Now let's go to Hebrews chapter 4, 1 through 12.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verses 1 through 12. Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, and the Most High did rest the seventh day from all his works. And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in because of unbelief. Again, he limited a certain day, saying in David, today, after a long time, after so long a time, as it is said, today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts. For if Yeshua had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High. For he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works, as the Most High did from his. Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of thoughts and intents of the heart.
Okay. Verse 8. For if Jesus, Yeshua, had given them rest, then would he not afterwards have spoken of another day? He didn't tell you about another day. He said, come rest in me. You laden, you downtrodden. I will give you rest. Verse 9. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High. That means it's still in place. It's there. That's our rest. The seventh day. You've been out there working 5, 6 days, all week long. Come hear the word. Get that rest. Get that spirit. That's the blood he's talking about. Remember, the spirit's in the blood. Come drink my blood. He's not talking about his physical blood, but come be partakers of the blood. Come be partakers of the spirit. That's the word. That's the blood.
The word shall be made flesh.
The word shall be made flesh. Come get that rest. You know, we like I said, we work hard, but we really don't have no rest. We got to trust in him to get that rest. To enter into the Most High's sanctuary, you must change your heart and circumcise your heart. That is your mind. To follow Christ is a change of mindset. We must walk like Christ. He went through the same temptations we all go through to show you that you can defeat the devil. All you have to do is believe in him and follow his words. Walk like Christ. It starts with the Sabbath, a holy convocation, a meeting, a gathering for the reading of the law. You must hear the law, then do the law. That's all I have for you today. All right, we're gonna close out with the Lord's Prayer. Try to stand up. Face Jerusalem, the east.
Right? Everybody, please your hearts, thoughts, and minds, and repeat after me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come.
thine will be done
Thy will be done
on earth
on earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Forgive us our trespasses,
Forgive us our trespasses,
as we forgive those
as we forgive those
who trespass against us.
who trespass against us.
Lead us not
Lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us
but deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
Amen.
Amen.